Hi everyone and good morning. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name is Jessica Wanjiko and I'm the founder of Malkia Nutrition. Today you're joining me in the farm where we are practicing permaculture or regenerative farming. So in this section we have planted some maize and beans. We're trying to put manure. Today we have been putting cow manure or compost rather, and in the other section we have also put chicken compost. There's a difference between manure and compost. Manure is what is fresh from the cow shed, but when you compost it, it has you introduce beneficial microorganism to that manure. It decomposes, and then the beneficial microorganism remove or they help to get the right nutrients to the soil. So that's why this manure has composted for about I think almost a month when it's being turned, and there are some beneficial microorganisms that, or effective microorganisms, EM, that have been introduced to them. So here we are trying to practice permaculture. By permaculture, I mean we are trying to do as much as possible of what happens in a natural forest, and by applying several principles that have now been attributed to permaculture. By permaculture, it's a combination of the word permanent and agriculture to make permaculture. It was done first by two gentlemen who reside in Germany or from Germany. They are the one who came about with that principle, whereby they wanted to reduce the number of times that one has to turn the soil to grow the crop, and also to make sure that you're introducing beneficial microorganisms to the soil. So one of the principles, that's what I want to discuss today, of permaculture is observing, interacting, and understanding your farm. For example, you will see that our maize here have been affected by cutworms. Yeah, cutworms. And we're also finding lots of things that are eating the bean leaves, and we also have real pests, that are dropping their you can see you from time to time you will see animal droppings among the maize. So when you observe the crop like this one, you find that these are eggs of that cutworm, and we are trying to spray rabbit urine. If you have seen one of my videos before, you will see that we are trying to spray rabbit urine, and even physical removal of these worms or of the affected part like this one. These are the eggs of the cutworm, is beneficial. But also you need to know that when you remove it, you need not to drop the eggs in the farm, because when you drop the eggs in the farm, you'll be doing zero work, because they will fall on the soil and the eggs will hatch into larvae and so forth and so on. So observing and understanding your farm or the tenor of your farm, including the soil fertility, the nutrients that are in the soil. You need to understand everything that is in the soil. Also, the second principle of permaculture is utilizing and storing energy. For example, one of the renewable energy is water. Okay, is it renewable? Yeah, but like here we are trying to trap or rather irrigate this section that we have planted hohos, capsicum, yes, green capsicum. So this is a reused water bottle that we have drilled some holes to the bottom. We fill it up, and then the water leaks into the soil slowly over a given period of time. So that is the second principle of permaculture, where you're trying to capture, store, or utilize energy, because energy is neither created nor destroyed, but you can catch it or capture it and utilize it in different ways. Another principle of permaculture that I have learned is intercropping. Intercropping. So if you come with me, you will see that we are trying to grow different varieties or increase the biodiversity of the crops that we are growing in this farm. These are kale, the traditional kale. Yes, the traditional kale or sukuma wiki, which are we can harvest for for our own food consumption, but they are also heavily affected by aphids and a lot of worms, that, or rather borers, stalk borers like these ones. So for this, one of the solutions that we are using or utilizing is spraying rabbit urine, also using products from Rue Organics. Rue Organic is a company that deals with organic pesticides, biopesticide and biofoliars. Pesticides are for killing such worms and insects and soft-bodied organisms, and then biofoliars that are done with rabbit urine and coconut and such. Coconut effusion, those are for helping the crop to grow faster. So we are sponsored or supported by Rue Organics, and we are using their products on this farm as a demo, also to demonstrate that the products can actually help to, they actually help to kill or help the crops to not be overloaded by pests, and also to help the crop grow faster. So one of the products that I'll be using and I'll be spraying on these crops today or tomorrow is Top Gel, that is beneficial for stopping the growth of all soft-bodied organisms. So that's the second principle, the third principle, sorry, of permaculture, which is increasing the biodiversity of the farm. One of the other things is trying to utilize edges and boundaries, and like those places where you use often, or rather you don't, the space that might not be very easy to use, like here is near a tree stump. So what we have tried is to plant coriander. These are things that can grow very easily in this section, but we also try to use the spaces that the crops might not do very well because of the rooting system of the tree, because this is a boundary, right? This is a boundary. So we are trying to utilize this space by planting crops that do well in that particular section. So another principle of permaculture is so the other principle that we are practicing of permaculture is whereby we are integrating crops or varieties that we can use for our own personal use and trying to increase the yields of this land. For example, here we have pumpkin leaves that we love to consume. We have a variety of cherry tomatoes that are also pretty good, and they grow well and fast, and they don't require much water. They don't require much water, so they are easy to grow. We also have onions that we find we are able to use for our own household. So as we grow the maize and beans and peas, we are still getting aesthetic value from being in the farm, or from growing things in the farm, and so that is working well for us.